What is the meaning of life? Should there be meaning? What actually keeps a human being alive when everything around them is telling them to stop? The clearest answer to that question comes from the worst places imaginable. Viktor Frankl was an Austrian physicist, philosopher, and author. He spent 3 years in 4 Nazi concentration camps. Every day meant famine, illness, forced labour, and the constant possibility of execution. But how did they carry on without giving up? When they've taken everything from you, is there any reason not to give up? Before we get to Frankl's answer, we have to sit with the harder question underneath it. What if there is no reason? What if meaning is just a story we tell ourselves, a comforting fiction laid over a universe that simply doesn't care? That's the nihilist position, and inside a concentration camp, it's very hard to argue against it. In this video, we look at Viktor Frankl's answer to nihilism. The meaning of life is to give life meaning. Frankl noticed that there were 2 kinds of people: those who had given up on life and those who had not. The first group got sick faster and died sooner. The second were more likely to survive. The difference, though, wasn't physical strength, but rather it was meaning. A sense of purpose found somehow even in conditions that seemed impossible. Frankl himself was a doctor. He found purpose in caring for the sick inmates around him. At one point, he was offered a chance to escape the camp entirely. He turned it down. He stayed because the people who depended on him needed him to stay. That purpose mattered more to him than survival. His life had become a sacrifice of real significance. On the other end, those who collapsed always had the same reasoning. There is nothing left to expect from life. And that's the nihilism, the body following the mind into surrender. Frankl wrote about one prisoner who believed the war would end on March 13th, 1945. He held on to that date with all his hope. When the day passed and nothing changed, the disappointment broke him. He got sick and died within weeks. Without a reason to live, the loss of hope was enough to kill him. Frankl would say he lost his reason to live. Here's the obvious objection. Is it really logical to expect someone in those conditions to find meaning? Aren't some situations just too overwhelming? Doesn't the nihilist argument gain force precisely in a place where people are being systematically destroyed? If meaning exists, why does finding it require that much desperation? After the war, Frankl addressed this directly. His conclusion was clear. Even inside the camps, under the worst physical and psychological pressure, something remained. He called it a vestige of spiritual freedom, an independence of mind that no outside force could fully take away. He wrote, quote, "We who lived in concentration camps can remember the men who walked through the huts, comforting others, giving away their last piece of bread. They may have been few in number, but they offer sufficient proof that everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way." End quote. Now notice what Frankl is doing here. He is not claiming the universe has a plan. He is not saying suffering serves some cosmic purpose, or the good guys win in the end. His argument is narrower than that, and even more radical. Whatever the universe is or is not, you still have to choose how to face it. And here's where Frankl turns nihilism on itself. The nihilist says there is no meaning. Fine. But that position is still a choice, an attitude towards existence. And the moment you choose an attitude, you have already created meaning. You cannot escape the freedom to respond. You can only decide whether to use it consciously or let your circumstances decide for you. In the modern world, the usual response to emptiness is not meaning. It's pleasure, money, status, distraction. And in a strange way, nihilism and consumerism are two faces of the same coin. One declares the question unanswerable, the other just keeps you too busy to ask it. Neither actually addresses it. The nihilist argument is especially seductive in consumer culture. If nothing matters, then at least pleasure is real. If the universe is indifferent, comfort is a good way to respond to it. But Frankl observed that what happens to people who actually live that way, in the camps, you could watch it in real time. Those who decided there was nothing left to live for became indifferent to their own decline. The logic was coherent, the outcome, though, was death. The same trap applies to happiness. We are told to pursue happiness. In some circles, it's almost a requirement. But Frankl's insight is sharp here. Happiness cannot be pursued. It has to result from something. You need a reason to be happy. Once you find that reason, happiness follows on its own. Chase it directly and it runs. Commit to something that matters and it arrives as a byproduct. Success works the same way. The more you care about success for its own sake, the less you can focus on the work that actually leads to it. Dedicate yourself to a purpose, stop worrying about the culture or the outcome, and success becomes more likely. So, how does one find meaning? Frankl offered 3 solutions. Number 1, through creation and action. Writing, building, helping, solving. Anything that leaves a mark, however small. You don't know how or what the world needs until you step into it. Even sharing a piece of bread with someone who is starving can be a deeply meaningful act. Number 2, through love and experience. Connection with people, beauty, truth, or nature. Frankl used the word love, but not in a sentimental way. He meant it as a form of knowing, the only way to truly see another person in their uniqueness. Being fully present with another person is, in itself, a source of meaning. The nihilist cannot love without contradiction. Love is the act of treating something as though it matters absolutely. The moment you love something, you have abandoned nihilism in practice, even if you still hold on to it in theory. Number 3, through the attitude we take towards suffering. Frankl illustrated it with a widower, a doctor who came to him paralyzed by grief after his wife died. Instead of offering advice, Frankl asked him one question. What would have happened if you had died first and she had to survive you? The man went quiet. For her, it would have been terrible. She would have suffered terribly. Exactly. He had spared her that. He was paying the price so she didn't have to. His grief, reframed, became an act of love, and love, as Frankl had already established, is its own source of meaning. This is the recognition that even inside unavoidable suffering, the freedom to choose your response remains, and exercising that freedom is itself a form of meaning. Let's be honest about what Frankl does and does not prove. He does not disprove nihilism in any strict philosophical sense. He cannot demonstrate that the universe has purpose, or that consciousness is more than biology, or that our lives matter to anything beyond ourselves. The nihilist's cosmological argument remains technically intact. What Frankl does is expose the practical consequences of nihilism and find them untenable. A person who genuinely lives as though nothing matters does not achieve enlightened detachment. They wither, they collapse, they die of typhus 2 weeks after hope runs out. Nihilism might be intellectually defensible. It is very difficult to actually inhabit. And Frankl's challenge to this, if your body and mind need meaning to function, and if the absence of purpose can actually be deadly, then searching for meaning is not just a philosophical luxury, it is a necessity. The question is not whether you will live by some sense of purpose, it is whether you choose it consciously or risk being destroyed by its absence. Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." The meaning of life is not handed to you. It must be found, claimed, defined, and sometimes fought for. But it is always there in the moment in front of you, the person beside you, or the task you have not started yet, if you are willing to look. Do you agree with Frankl's view on the meaning of life? Let me know in the comments. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.